hold it on because the place was falling apart. And that was a big exposure.
Yeah.
They built a whole set in the state's attorney's office and staged a reenactment of coming in the door. And there's this movie, The Murder of Fred Hampton. It was made by Howard Alk and Mike Gray back then.
Right.
And people have seen it's around. And we got the outtakes through devious means from this reenactment that they did. And they kept messing up. And they couldn't get it straight, what they were trying to say about how they went inside at the beginning.
They couldn't get their lies straight.
We had the outtakes showing them, and the guy says, he start over. So that stuff all came out then, and they had arrested the survivors. There were 9 people in the apartment. 2 were dead, Fred and Mark. 4 were wounded by the automatic weapons fire, and 3 were survived and were put in jail.
Which essentially was a shoot-in.
A shoot-in.
Not a shoot-out as they claimed it to be.
The other night in a panel in Chicago, this one young history professor said that was a death squad before they had death squads.
There you go.
We didn't learn about death squads until the late 70s, 80s in Central America. But they had them in America. That was a death squad.
Oh, yeah, they had plenty of them targeting Panthers.
A death squad. And so they...
led by J. Edgar Hoover.
Well, and manipulated by him.
Oh, yes. Prevent the rise of a messiah.
That was exactly
of a black messiah. And Fred Hampton was considered the black messiah by them because he was dangerous. For what reason? He was saying... He would give a speech and he would say, literally, white power to white people, black power to black people, red power to red people, brown power to brown people, yellow power to yellow people, all power to the people.
Yes.
Okay?
Vanguard power to the vanguard party.
Right. And he said, we fight racism, not with more racism, but with international solidarity. He started the Rainbow Coalition. True. The original Rainbow Coalition, the revolutionary Rainbow Coalition.
Yes.
And he kicked a lot of us into the Black Panther Party, myself included.
Well, there you go.
Because when they blatantly murder us in our beds,
somebody got to do something.
Hey, it's time to stand up.
You got to respond.
It's stand up. What is that? What is that saying? Every generation must find its mission and fulfill it or betray it.
Yes. Well,
and our mission was to fight the gross injustice and blatant murder and brutality that was being meted out by this government against it.
And he was extraordinarily, I use a hackneyed word, charismatic.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
If you ever get a chance to see the movie...
Oh, I've seen films of him.
He was an amazing speaker and an amazing personality, He was a leader par excellence. He was really someone who would get under your skin. And I don't mean just the other people in the Panthers, He dealt with the people in the white movement. He dealt with us, a bunch of white lawyers, and a lot of other lawyers. And he was just beginning to get a national position. He had been out here, I think, in September, October, and met with Huey and Bobby and them. And, they were talking about bringing him into the national leadership and putting him on the road so that he would go around speaking around the country. I mean, he was definitely a threat to the power structure.
Oh, yeah, because he wasn't just organizing the black community in Chicago. He was organizing Chicago.
All kind of people. That's right. That's right.
And they weren't having it.
That's
okay?
right. That's right.
That's the bottom line.
There's a lot of the footage in the movie. One of the big events of that year, as the year wore on, was when the trial started of the conspiracy defendants from the Democratic Convention, and Bobby Seale was chained and gagged in the courtroom, and he was leading these demonstrations outside and making speeches.
Right.
And there were a lot of people that didn't know from the Panthers that found out right then. And went from there.
And he was definitely about feeding the people.
Yes,
Dennis, it's been wonderful having you on, and I wish we had more time.
Yes.
It went so fast.
Yes.
And how can people access the book and see the film?
There's a website, hamptonbook.com. There's the book itself is in some bookstores and hopefully will be in more. You could get it on Amazon. You should ask for it at your local bookstore.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Thank Arnell Vallier for board hopping. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in to Freedom is a Constant Struggle. And tune in next week to SF Live when we'll be talking about India with David Pugh. For SF Live, I'm Kilu Nyasha. Thank you for watching, and all power to the people, and free all political prisoners, and long live the spirit of Fred Hampton.
Right on.